Welcome back to Giving Chances Farm. Today we're going to be hauling some wood up to the house. Since the temperature's been dropping again, we went from 2 days ago it was mid 70s, almost 80, to last night it was, or yesterday I guess, all day was basically in the 40s. This morning we woke up to frost on the ground, on the cars, and it was like in the 30s, but with the wind chill, it was in the 20s. So we're gonna make sure we got enough wood up at the house. That way we can start using the fireplace on the times that we're here. That way we can offset how much we have to run the boiler as a backup. So. Alright, so most of this wood that we're bringing up here to the house, it's been cut and split since last year, so it's had plenty of time to season. So it'll burn really good. Some of it, such as this one right here, this is part of the Osage orange trees that were growing in our fence row. So some of the other stuff was brought to us by the tree service that brings their wood chips to us. So, all we had to do was cut it down to size, and some of it we split, some of it didn't need it. So. Pretty much what we like to try to keep is we like to try and keep this rack full, and then this bin that we picked up, it's basically an old plastic cart, like dump cart, I guess. They would have used it, I'm guessing in a factory or something like that, to go through and get trash, I guess. But we picked it up. We were out going to some garage sales, and it was on the side of the road with a sign that said free on it. So we actually picked that and a couple pallets up the same day. So it's been pretty useful. I did have to replace the wheels on it, but other than that, it holds quite a bit of wood, so, and it keeps it dry. So that's a nice thing about that. So I guess the old saying is true. You know, one person's trash is another person's treasure. So it works for what we needed it for. Plus, kind of have to think of different ways sometimes to use things, and some people have things that they're wanting to get rid of. You know, depending on the price of it, it could save you a lot of money than it is to go out and buy something brand new. So I know over the years of us living here at this place, I've done a lot of auctions. Sometimes you go to the auctions and you can get a bargain. Other times you go there, and depending on who's there bidding, you're like, these people are paying more for it at the auction than they could have when they just went to the store and bought it. So you have to know what you're wanting when you go to things like that, and know what you're willing to pay for it. Otherwise, you can end up thinking you're getting a bargain and spend a lot more money than what you would if you just went and bought it brand new. So, you know, because actually this wagon right here is actually an auction find. So, and we've been using it for, well, almost 14 years, because I used to, when we had horses, this is what I used to use when we started out with horses. This was how I mucked the stalls. I would fill this full of manure and take it outside and dump it in a pile. And back then we didn't know any better as far as using it for our garden. You know, we would use it for the garden in the wintertime. We would put horse manure on there and then till it in and things like that. But throughout the summer, I didn't have a manure spreader back then, so we actually was putting this into a pile and burning it. So, knowing what we know now, it was quite wasteful. So, but now that we've got different opportunities afforded to us, then we do things a little bit different. Mostly it's because we've learned as we went. So that's kind of the way we have to do things nowadays. Times are definitely changing. This whole virus, we're not sure what tomorrow may hold, so we got to do the best for today, and when we wake up tomorrow, we try to take that day and move forward. So just basically taking things one day at a time nowadays and move on. So we got our goals that we want to do, and part of that is to get a bigger property so we can have more space for the animals and more animals eventually. You know, Brittany wants a greenhouse, so we're working to try and get to that goal. That's something I think that we can try to reach by next year, hopefully. The other thing is, when it comes to the animals, is right now the processing facilities are backed up, you know, and already booked all the way through next year. So, you know, we've got things going on around here, like we've got people asking us for if we have any more pigs for sale, and currently we don't, but really even if we did, there's the processor's booked up to process it, so unless the person wanted to process it themselves, then it wouldn't really do much for us to raise the pig right now. We do have some coming for next year. We've got a breeding pair coming, but we'll see what we can do from there with that part of it. I did have someone at my work send me pictures last night of a processing room that they've built inside their barn to do deer processing, and they're using the CoolBot on a window AC to be able to keep the temperature down to what it needs to be. So I told him that I was looking at something similar to that for us. The logistics of that is still kind of in the planning stage, because you know, it's one thing to be able to get the room to the temperature you need it to, and then it's another thing to be able to support the weight of an animal hanging in that room while you're keeping it cool. So there's definitely some things to look at there as to how that works, and whether or not there's a need for us to do that. I mean, as far as that goes, that would only be a viable solution for us processing our own meat for us to consume, but it doesn't help us with being able to process off meat for us to sell at farmers markets and those kind of things, because that's kind of where we want to go eventually with the cattle side of it. You know, we'd like to be able to produce that meat, that way we could sell it to others, and with that, you know, we need to be able to get it done in a processing facility that's USDA inspected and all of that. So those are some of the goals that we're trying to work towards, and we're just going to take it day by day and see what we can get. For those of you that are new subscribers to our channel, we are going to have another YouTube live on November 15th at 6 p.m. and right now we are in Eastern time, so we should have the link to that up hopefully later on today. So we're still trying to make sure that we can test the software out and make sure it's going to work. I know the last time we had a little bit of an issue getting the YouTube live up on time. This time we'll make sure it's up on time and running, and preferably we're going to try to do a little bit different method than last time. We were just using the webcam side of it, and they say that that was causing some spooling issues. And I'm not sure why that was, whether it was something going on between our computer and YouTube, because you know, even though we live in the country, we do have fiber optic internet out here, so the internet speed is not slow. So but we'll make sure we get the proper software installed on the computers and try to test that before we go live on Sunday. So, but hope you guys enjoy the videos. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share on social media with all your family and friends, and help us get some more subscribers. And we'll see you tomorrow.